So ain't nobody gonna call it what it is. Ain't nobody gonna say what it is. Y'all really expect us to believe that? A 21-year-old gets hung, and now everybody wanna censor themselves. Where's the outrage? A 21-year-old black man was hung from a tree. That was somebody's son, somebody's brother, a future father. Delta State University, I better be damn sure we ain't letting this shit go. My name is Kim, I do motivational content on TikTok, and I gotta talk about this situation. How does a 21-year-old black man, his name is Trey Reed, black man in 2025, getting hung in Mississippi?
Kill my baby. I don't wish this on nobody.
Delta State University, with your false narrative, you need to proceed with caution because there will be consequences for this. We need answers. As of this point, the family of Trey Reed has not even received a phone call from the president of Delta State University and to tell them exactly what happened to their child that they entrusted to Delta State University. Because if this young man was on the campus of Delta State University with all these cameras and all this modern technology, from the moment he left his dorm room or entered that campus, there should be surveillance of all of his actions. And that's what we want.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Mesuba, and you are highly welcome to my channel. So today guys, we want to talk about something that should anger every one of us. A 21-year-old black student at Delta State University, our son, was found dead. The state said he hung himself. We said that this story does not add up. We will not be fooled. Listen to me. When a black life is cut short, we deserve more than quick answers. We deserve truth. We deserve justice. Instead, we are being given a story that raises more questions than it answers. We cannot allow powerful institutions to bury the truth. We cannot allow another black family to bury their child without answers. Black lives are not disposable. Black students deserve safety, dignity, and justice. This is not only about Trey Reed. This is about how black lives are treated in America. That boy was supposed to be somebody's husband, somebody's son, and somebody's future husband. Now, he's gone, and his family is left with no answer. That's not right. Why are people suspicious? Because when black students die in an unclear way, too often the truth is hidden. Think about it. Only days after Charlie Kirk's death, now there are 2 more deaths at the same school. People are worried. People are saying this is more than coincidence. We must be loud. We must insist the family gets answers. This is not just about one life. This is about how black lives are treated in our institutions. If we accept silence now, it will happen again.
Today, a young black man was found hanging from a tree. His name was Trey Reed. And 7 a.m. this morning at Delta State University in Mississippi, they said that he killed himself. The sheriff's department said there was no foul play, yet his arm and his leg were broken. Trey Reed was hanged right next to the pickleball courts in the middle of Delta State University. And the school didn't file any type of emergency shutdown. Yeah, class was canceled, but nothing else happened. This type of violence against black and brown bodies is so normalized that all they feel they have to do is cancel class for the day. Now, if you're more upset by the unaliving of Charlie Kirk than you are by the lynching of Trey Reed and the countless before him, something's wrong with you. You need to assess, you need to internalize, you need to look within. Tomorrow, tonight, you need to figure out why you're racist. If you're righteously angry, as we all should be, no matter what you look like, don't allow these motherfuckers to pacify your rage and tell you what to do with that energy. Rest in power, Trey Reed.
It's 1 a.m., but I don't care. Trey Reed, Trayvon Reed, remember that name. He was found hanging from a tree today with both of his arms broken and one of his legs broken at Delta State University in Missouri. This didn't just happen either. It happened early yesterday because it's 1 a.m., so this was yesterday. They're trying to rule it as something that was self-done, you know, but his family has already come and said this is not something that he would have done. And the fact that both of his arms, he was hanging there with both of his arms and one of his legs broken. How? This is the second incident that this school has had, and they also have a huge racist past. They say that history is repeating itself, and now we are in real time seeing African Americans being lynched. That's the word. That's what that's called. They broke both of his arms and one of his legs and hung him from a tree. And if you don't feel any empathy towards that, that's mighty close to what Jesus went through. His arms and his legs weren't broken, but they were put together, and he was hung on a cross. You can tell who's responsible for this, and I really hope it has nothing to do with this Charlie. Repost this because this is not being put out anywhere. Like, repost this, send this to people, like, go look this up and follow for more.
Black men do not hang themselves from trees. I've said it before and I will say it again because I very strongly believe that. So this morning at about 7:05 on the campus of Delta State University, they did find a young man named Trey Reed, he goes by Trey, hanging from a tree near the pickleball courts. They are stating that at this time, it does not look like foul play. It is foul play. Please make sure that you guys are investigating this. Now, they did say he is from Grenada, and they have notified the next of kin of his passing. They did say, even though they don't feel like foul play is, involved, that the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is there on campus. They did go ahead and close the campus down to do investigation. So this will need to be very thorough. We will need every single camera angle because we do not in any way, shape, or form believe that a 21-year-old black male would hang himself from a tree. Now, do black men hang themselves? They do. They would do it in private. They would never do it in a public forum. It is not the way we do it, okay? So we just really want y'all to make sure y'all thoroughly investigate and inform us of what happened to this young man. My heart goes out to the family and friends. They are dealing with the loss.
Mississippi is the lynching capital of this country when a young black man, Trey Reed, is found hanging from a tree. Don't you dare insult us and try to tell us that he did this to himself. Now, all of a sudden, local officials seem to be inferring that they might have video of what happened to Trey Reed. Now, all of a sudden, that Ben Crump has come to take over the investigation. Thank goodness. A 21-year-old young black man, first-year student, only 1 month into school. His mother said that she spoke to him on Friday and he was happy. He was excited about college. And by Monday, he was found hanging from a tree on campus. And the coroner rushed to say, no foul play. How the hell do you quickly come to that conclusion before there is even an autopsy, before his mother and his family even get answers? Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is now leading this investigation. Crump stated, Trey Reed was deeply loved and respected, and his family and his campus community deserve a full independent investigation to uncover the truth. We cannot accept vague conclusions when so many questions remain. And he is absolutely right. We are not accepting their lies. We are not accepting their cover-ups. We are not going to let them bury this story. And we are not going to forget Trey Reed.
How tall was he? How tall was the tree? Was there a chair left at the scene? Or were the only evidence at the scene a tree and a rope? If he were tall enough to do it without a chair, then wouldn't that mean that his feet would be too close to the ground to hang? How did he do it? Step by step, prove it. You say he did it in an area of the campus where there are coincidentally no cameras. Are there no other cameras on that campus that can identify any and every individual that was outside at the same time? Will there now be cameras put in all areas to prevent this from happening again? Prove it. Why would he pick his school campus of all places to carry out the act? Did he leave a suicide note? Was he being bullied? Was he being bullied because he was black? Prove it. There have been reports that Trey had broken bones and bruises, but the police say that's not true. Prove it. There's a lot of sense to be made here, and y'all aren't making any of it. In a thorough investigation, all angles should be taken into consideration. Why is this not being investigated as a hate crime? When just days before this, black students were the target of multiple death threats after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. People today always want to jump to not pulling the race card like the race card wasn't legally being swiped for hundreds of years. Black people in Mississippi don't have a history of lynching themselves. They have a history of being lynched. Charlie Kirk was a loud, proud advocate of public executions. How do we know that at 31 years old, he didn't just hire someone to publicly execute him? Because that just sounds stupid. So why is it so easy to assume that an amiable 21-year-old black student in Mississippi would have more of a reason to lynch himself than a privileged, loose-screwed radical racist? Prove it.
The one thing that they're not mentioning is that his arms and his legs were broken. They found him with his arms and his legs broken, strange fruited from a tree. And this happened 3 days after Charlie Kirk passed away. And all the far-right Trump supporters said that they want to take their country back and fight against everybody. After a far-right racist white man unalived another far-right racist white man, a black man gets dealt the consequences for it. And we're worried about having people lose their jobs because they had their opinion about a racist white man that died. Meanwhile, we're still getting strange fruited for existing. Our HBCUs are getting threatened to get boomed for existing. This political climate, man.
Tell me if this is just a coincidence. I need to know. 5 days after the unaliving of Charlie Kirk by a 22-year-old white male from Utah, allegedly, 2 hangings has happened in Mississippi on the same day. Trey Reed was found 7 o'clock a.m. in Cleveland, Mississippi, and Corey Zacchaeus was found hanging in the woods in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Same day, same state. Is this a coincidence? Or has someone heard the dog whistle blown from leadership about Charlie Kirk? Now, what's ironic is they have captured a white male for the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. And allegedly, his father has received $1 million from turning him. That's right, there's reports out there saying that the father of Tyler Robinson received $1 million for turning in his son. Okay, we're going to talk about that in another video. But my question to you, is it a coincidence that 2 persons of color was alive in the same state on the same day 5 days after? Y'all tell me. And it gets worse. Who put this black man up here on the same day, hours after, to report to the public that no foul play was found and Trey Reed's unaliving, hanging from a tree? Answer those questions. I want to know, is it a coincidence or has someone heard the dog whistle from the leadership of this country? Go down in the comments and prove me wrong.
And the fact that they hung Trey Reed's body on a university campus, that was a clear message to people in America, period. They chose a university, the same place that Charlie Kirk just died, a university campus. It wasn't in the same state, as we all know. Charlie Kirk's incident happened in Utah, and Trey Reed's incident happened in Mississippi. But the fact that they chose a campus, do y'all hear me? They could have did that anywhere on any tree, like they've been doing. And not let's not say they, white men. They could have chose anywhere, but they chose a university. That's a message. I hope y'all understand that. I know everybody's outraged that it's not getting coverage, but these are messages that these people are sending.
The great state of Mississippi just keeps getting scarier. And now National Civil Rights Attorney Ben Crump is on his way after 21-year-old Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree on Delta State's campus. Ben Crump was put on retainer 1 day after Trey's body was found. Trey had been in his hometown just days before this happened. His family says that he seemed joyful and loving. His family is now asking that an independent autopsy be done. It's a lot of eyes on this case, and Ben's going to make sure that this investigation is done fair. A news conference was held this morning, and a lot of unanswered questions were left unanswered, with one of the main focuses being, where is the surveillance footage? And why was this so quickly announced that there was no foul play? Here's what they had to say.
That we have had increased law enforcement presence on this campus. And unfortunately, that's because this campus has received threats. We are supposed to be a place where students come to feel safe and to learn.
The chief medical examiner began conducting a full autopsy this morning. Preliminary results are expected to be available within the next 24 to 48 hours. This is an isolated incident. Due to the support of the state and local law enforcement and the increased law enforcement presence here at Delta State, there are currently no active threats to the campus, and the university remains a safe environment for its students, faculty, and staff. At this time, are there any questions?
Chief, Martin Staunton, Fox 13 News in Memphis. First question that comes out is, how would the statement foul play has been ruled out so soon when you just said a preliminary coroner's report hasn't even been released?
Thank you for your question. Again, the statement was initially, at this point, we didn't believe or have evidence of foul play.
You talked about in the initial report about no foul play. Did you personally put your eyes on the student's body, and how can you make that determination by making a physical observation without having any knowledge about what happened to that person's body?
Well, with the combined effort of Delta State Police, Cleveland PD, Bolivar County Sheriff's Office, yes, did we lay eyes on the student? I did. I was there.
The silence on this story in certain spaces is actually very loud. Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree on the Delta State University campus, and according to his cousin, both of his arms and one of his legs was broken. Now, the Bolivar County coroner is coming out saying that there was no visible signs of trauma or any broken limbs, but further examination is to come. And this is a clear attempt to try to shift the blame toward suicide. I find it to be very telling that a county coroner is coming out with preliminary information before doing a full body in-depth examination of Trey. This is almost unheard of in cases that assume some type of foul play. And of course, something like this would take place and potentially be covered up in a state like Mississippi, arguably our nation's most racist state, with the state of Mississippi leading our nation in the number of lynchings between the years 1888 to 1968. Everything is not a coincidence. Now, I'm gonna really need the media and other people trying to justify the entire situation to stop playing in our face, acting as if someone would be capable of doing this to themselves. It's such a reach. Y'all are going to pull a limb. From all of the family's accounts, he was a very happy, well-adjusted, good kid who lit up a room. And what people are choosing to ignore, but the cousin has confirmed, is that Trey was dealing with racism in this area for a little bit. This was quite literally a targeted attack. And let's please refrain from trying to excuse lynchings in the year of 2025. This is not 1920 Jim Crow. And I can only imagine how unsafe and uncomfortable other Black and brown students now feel maneuvering around that campus. These are the moments in time where we can point to tangible instances of institutionalized and systemic racism. Had this happened to a white person on the campus, there wouldn't be any speculation about whether this was a result of suicide or foul play. Justice for Trey Reed, and I hope that they find the sick people who did this to him.
First, why were his legs, hands, and neck broken before they say he was hung? Because broken bones and hanging, those things does not match a simple suicide story. Second, there was no chair, no sign someone climbed up. So how did this happen? Third, who was watching? Where are the cameras? If other cases has cameras, why not this one? This is not paranoia. This is common sense. We have seen communities treated differently when the victims are blacks. We have seen rush rulings, slow investigations, and stories that protect institutions instead of people. That must end. Think about it. When high-profile cases happen, cameras and timelines are searched and shown. Videos are played to build a case. So why do we get short statements here? Why is there no full video timeline, no witness list, no transparent autopsy released? When we ask for answers, we get silence. That silence is not normal. It smells like cover-up. If you have information, contact the family spokesperson or trusted organizers. If you are at Delta State University, check cameras. your logs, your memories. If you know anything, say something. If you don't want to speak publicly, send tips to independent journalists. This is about one young life. It's about all of us. We will keep pushing. We will not let this go. Thank you for watching. Share this video. Keep the pressure on. Justice must come.